It's fitting that this hearing falls between tax filing day, which was moved to April 18 this year, in case you haven't filed your taxes, and Tax Freedom Day, which occurs on April 24th. As Mr. Hodge may explain, Tax Freedom Day represents the day taxpayers can stop working to pay off what they owe the government and start earning for themselves and their families. Unfortunately, Tax Freedom Day does not include freedom from complexity. Throughout the year, taxpayers will have to gather and store receipts and records to deal with next year's filing deadline. Some taxpayers will even make business or even personal life decisions based on some quirk in the tax code. I was looking for a tangible example at this hearing of just how complex our tax law is. And rather than stack up and tear down a whole forest of trees to print, that's why these boxes are stacked up in front of the dais. In 2014, a publication that includes the tax code, regulations, and court decisions that determine tax law totaled over 74,000 pages. If my staff had printed this out, we would need 15 boxes of paper that are represented here. Now, I've got good news and bad news to report with respect to 2015. The good news is that the latest version of the tax code has fewer pages. We wondered how that could happen, since I think, as we'll hear from our witnesses, we're adding to and not taking from, simplifying the tax code in any way. But it was due to not an increase in the number of tax laws. It was because an explosion of pages no longer could fit in the binders. So the publisher shrank the font size. For those of us whose eyesight is not as good as it used to be, we will be ever harder to pay attention to the fine print that exists in our tax code. And it's no wonder 90% of taxpayers pay a tax preparer or buy computer software to help them figure out their tax burden. Even before the new tax complications of the Affordable Care Act, the Internal Revenue Service estimated that taxpayers spent over 6 billion hours each year preparing and filing taxes. Estimates of the dollar cost to taxpayers range in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Complexity comes with many costs. Aside from the frustration and anxiety it causes taxpayers to spend time and energy that could be put to much more productive uses. It costs the Treasury, since taxpayers make innocent mistakes and are never exactly sure what they owe. And it breeds a sense of distrust in the system when taxpayers suspect others are getting a better deal because they figured out how to game the tax code. But is there a real economic cost? Would America as a whole be dramatically better off with a much simpler, much fairer, much more pro-growth tax code? I think I know the answer, but I look forward to hearing from our witnesses with their views on this subject.